The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network. This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
From what day you may find out, certain people not like me. Everyone got us bag of thing now. Next to me I do it like Nike, but me not fear no guy now. No matter how hard them a spite me just a go and do me thing now. Me just a do it like Nike. 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 Them want poison me, throw me thing up.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Burger King, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, ESC Distributors Limited, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, Fun Foods Wholesale, the IAAF World Relays Bahamas, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's and Games, and Tropical Gyros.
Rose gold for the Cuban link up. How much ice just a rings up.
And good afternoon, good day. Sure happy it's Thursday. It's Thursday, Talking Heads. Yes, this is Pearly in the house. How everybody doing out there today? Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. It's so good to be here. You know, the weather is starting to warm up. Soon time for them beaches. Well, you know, I got to be good and hot for me to go on the beach, but it's warming up. Beautiful day today. Been a beautiful week. Just hope everybody's doing good. Just quick announcement. I got a notice today. The funeral services for the late Donald Don Sanders, former FNM Member of Parliament, former Deputy Speaker of the House, will be next week, Friday the 19th at 11 a.m. at St. Agnes Church. His body will be laid in state at the House of Assembly from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursday the 18th. I also understand that the Free National Movement will have a memorial service for him on Thursday at 6:30 at their headquarters on Mackey Street. So it's been a tough time. It's a good friend of mine. So Wednesday, memorial service. His body will lay in state at the House of Assembly on Thursday the 18th, and his funeral will be on Friday the 19th at St. Agnes Church. So everybody, how we doing? Let's take a quick look. I have a special guest today. We'll join him in 2 seconds. Let's do a quick housekeeping. Headlines, and Billy got to read this housekeeping because him and I are going to talk a little bit about this. PM, no worries about investor confidence, but Davis says capital not being attracted to Freeport. 5 accused of stealing from the Water and Sewage Corporation. Davis says info on BPL deal when ducks are in a row. And Omar Davis's mother says she couldn't believe his killer got 15 years. And a quick look at the business section. PM inspects sewage system. Road paving east of East Street. PM checking that out. That's some serious PR. Part of the challenge has been the flooding. The drainage systems was very archaic. New 100-room hotel will bring 100 new permanent jobs to PI. Focal shares offering fully subscribed. North Andrews Forest Fire impacting businesses. And phase 1 of our key sewer system upgrade completed. So, a lot of stuff been happening in Grand Bahama. The main thing that everybody talking about and trying to find out is what's going on with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. I'm from Nassau. I born in Chippenham, grew up in Chippenham. I don't fully understand it. I've heard some things that the leader of the opposition said, Michael Pintard, and I've heard the Prime Minister say some things. But I wanted to get it from a Grand Bahamian, somebody who lives there, somebody who's has been intimately involved and who can probably answer some of these tough questions I have. My special guest today is the Member of Parliament for the East Grand Bahama constituency, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson. Brother Thompson, welcome to Talking Heads with Pearly.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is very, very good to be here. I want to, first of all, just say how sad we were. I know you had mentioned about Brother Don Sanders.
Yes.
And I think all of us are heartbroken. All of us feel that.
Yes.
We will do our best to to make sure that we remember him, make sure that we remember his family. And hopefully this will bring the party together as we move forward. But we will most certainly heartbroken when we heard the news.
Yes, yes.
So our hearts go out to him and to his family, and we pray that his soul will rest in peace.
And rise in glory.
Absolutely.
Grand Bahama. We're just going to talk about Grand Bahama with you today, and more so the Grand Bahama Port Authority saga, I want to call it. Now, the Prime Minister says, or the government says, that the Grand Bahama Port Authority owed them some $300+ million. Do they owe that much? If they've done, has it accumulated over the years? Because I know that the Hawkesbury Agreement was created in 1955, if I remember correctly.
55, and there is a very old provision which is in that agreement, which again states that the government ought to be reimbursed for certain things under certain circumstances. And we have not seen the claim that the government has put forward to the Port Authority.
Okay.
And so, the unfortunate answer is I do not know, because I do not know what the government is asking for and why the government is asking for it. The only thing we know is that the government has been asking for this $357 million, and we know publicly that the Grand Bahama Port Authority says they do not owe $357 million. Okay. The government has not released the report. I agree with the leader of the opposition that the report ought to be released to the public so that all of us can understand this claim. All of us can understand the motivations behind this claim. Because again, I do not trust that the government is moving ahead just in the interests of the Bahamian, in the interests of Grand Bahamians.
Okay.
Quite frankly, I believe that the government ought to be more focused on ensuring that all of those potential investments. The government was quite clear in touting this $2 billion worth of investments.
Yes.
They ought to be more focused on ensuring that those investments that have been approved, that those investments actually move from approval to shovel in the ground and provide the necessary jobs for Grand Bahamians. Exactly. I mean, I think that should be where the energies, the focus, the resources ought to be. I think the unfortunate part about what we see happening in the public is that it reminds us of that very public fight previously between the two families.
Yes.
The Haywood family and the St. George's family. They had a protracted court battle.
Yes.
And during that court battle, Grand investment suffered because investors weren't sure what was going to happen. They weren't sure about the climate. And this one is even worse because this one now is not between two private persons. This one is between the private quasi-governmental agency and the government.
Okay.
And so, the faces are the same. The lawyers seem to be the same. And it seems as though we are heading down the same direction.
Are you predicting a court date?
Pardon me?
Are you predicting a court date, a court appearance?
No, I think that they are leading up to. I believe we heard in the press that this is heading towards arbitration. Okay. But arbitration again is a very similar. It's the same as a court. You have three persons instead of one. You don't need to go through all of the formal processes. But again, the way that the government is going about this is a very public fight against the Grand Bahama Port Authority. And that, I believe, is going to disadvantage Grand Bahamians. It's going to cause investors to pause because, again, why would I invest millions of dollars into an island where I am not sure what the outcome of a fight is between the quasi-governmental agency and the actual central government? I think there was a much better way of dealing with this, and I think the government ought to have been focused on ensuring that we move investments from approval to jobs, because that's what Grand Bahamians need. That's what Grand Bahamians are agitating for. Saying that you have $2 billion worth of investment does not help us. it does not provide the necessary security that Grand Bahamians need in terms of making sure that they are employed. So I think the government ought to be focused on ensuring that we move those investments from just approval or just talk to actual jobs, providing the necessary jobs that are required. I saw the list, and many of them are just in the approval stage. A number of them are in that sort of stage between approval and actual shovel. And some of them that we even talked, they haven't provided one single job. So we need to look at ensuring that the government moves those investments from shovel in the ground from approval to shovel in the ground that actually provides jobs for the Grand Bahamians.
The Prime Minister said, no worries about investor confidence, but Davis says capital not being attracted to Freeport. What is the reason that the PM would say capital isn't being attracted to Grand Bahama, on your view?
Well, again, he is again saying one thing, but his actions speak to something else. And it's again something that the Davis administration has again been sort of famous for. On the one hand, you say something that you believe is going to refute what people are criticizing you for, but on the other hand, you're going to say something that is in total opposition to what you just said. But you're going to say it because you believe it answers a different question. The two are not consistent.
I got you.
The reality is, if you damage investor confidence, then absolutely that's going to stop capital from flowing.
Okay.
And if you are concerned about capital flowing, then why are you having this very public fight that will not solve the problem? It will not cause capital to flow, and that's exactly the same issue that I've been raising. Exactly the same issue the opposition, the leader of opposition, has been raising, in that we need the approvals, we need that capital to actually start and get in the ground so that persons can be employed by those investments. Approval is not, is not final. Approval is just the beginning.
Yes.
So once you've been approved, you have to move those investments from approval to actually providing the necessary jobs. I think, the Prime Minister and the government really is saying that, they are fighting for, Grand Bahamians, and God knows, Grand Bahamians need folks to fight for them.
Yes.
Grand Bahamians need persons to be an advocate for them. But I believe that Grand Bahamians, if you want to fight for them, then you would repair their houses.
Okay.
I think that's a very real concern in my constituency. When I go around and when I speak to constituents, there are hundreds of persons who are still waiting on assistance for persons to repair their houses from Dorian and after Dorian. Matters have just gotten worse. So if we really want to fight for them, then let's put some funding and let's repair their houses instead of putting or if you are prepared to fund in New Providence, then I think you should also equally be prepared to put X amount of $1 million into Grand Bahama to make sure that those houses are repaired. You got to provide the jobs for people.
I agree.
If you want to fight for people, provide them with the jobs, because that's really what what is needed.
People need to get money. But since you on the show, the phone lines have lit up. But just before I take a call, I want to ask you one more question. Has the port served its usefulness? Do you think it may be time to move away from that business model, or do we just need new port managers?
So again, Freeport's business model has existed since 1955.
Yes.
And the families have owned the Port Authority since that time. Those original persons have died off, and their families and their children sort of have inherited that system.
Okay.
I think what Grand Bahama needs to continue is the system that is in place, which is a duty-free special economic zone that provides for those businesses in that zone to have certain concessions. I think that system ought to remain. Also, I believe the licensees, there are about 3,000 of them, ought to have real say in that development.
Okay.
In other words, instead of just the private families having ownership in it and having a say in terms of what happens in Freeport,
Okay.
we need a wider group of folks, including the licensees, to also have a say in what's happening as well. We need the Port Authority to be held accountable. It is in this day and age, it is completely unacceptable that you have a private company that has governmental functions that is not accountable to the people who they hold those functions for.
Okay.
You have persons in the Port Authority who they grant business licenses, and you have to pay them business licenses. But we don't know how much the Port Authority is making. We can't vote the Port Authority or those principals in the Port Authority out.
Okay.
So it's those type of things that I think need to change and need to move in accordance with the time. One other major issue is just look at the water company. The Port Authority or the principals of the Port Authority own the Grand Bahama Utility Company that provides water.
Okay.
But the Grand Bahama Port Authority regulates the water company.
Yeah. Okay.
So the same people who own the Port Authority
regulating themselves.
are the same people who own the water company, and they regulate themselves. That again has to change.
Conflict of
So
interest.
there are some things in that system that has to change, but there are some things in the whole system, I believe, that also need to remain the same. So I'm not opposed to change in the ownership. I believe that we need Bahamian persons who are prepared to have the same vision and also who have resources to be able to move Grand Bahama forward.
Okay.
And you know that's I believe the party's view. That's my view on it.
Fair enough. Let's take our first caller. Caller, you on there?
How's it going, man?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
All right. Well, I don't have an opportunity to congratulate Guardian Radio on fantastic job they're doing as relates to their talk shows and keeping people educated.
We celebrated 12 years yesterday.
You and Naughty do a very good job.
Thank you.
And certainly, Morning Blend. Hey, all you guys are great, man.
Thank you very much.
The language educate us as it relates to the political aspect
Yes.
of how government functions. So I
Yeah.
appreciate him.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to call him a while ago to add my 5 cents to what I think is going on as it relates to what they call the public row.
Yeah.
I think 2 things. First of all, I have to give the government credit for sending the bill in the time in which they did it. In that, I think this is such a limitation of financial matters. I think it's 6 years or 6.5 years.
I think so.
So if they let this go another year or so, they couldn't bill them back. Because that has been owed in the past. You have to write that off. That's
Okay.
way past the 6-year period. So
Okay.
you got to write that off.
Okay.
So I think send it now is okay. But I think the manner which it was sent and the way the letter was fashioned or the bill or whatever they sent out the order. I think it should have said that, hey, you're $357 million. We expect you to tell us in 30 days how you will sell this account. And I think it would not have been a public row. But to suggest that they could find $357 million in 30 days, I think it's kind of harsh.
I got
All
you.
right? That's one point. Next point I want to make is this. As you think, the hotel that they have a problem trying to sell in Grand Bahama. I think they have a problem selling a hotel until they're able to improve the airport facilities and lift to Grand Bahama.
Okay.
It's difficult to spend millions of dollars buying that hotel and renovating that hotel and getting it up and running if you don't see the lift coming. And for order for you to get the maximum lift, you have to have a good airport facility.
Yeah, because you got to have enough.
So I think they got to improve. Yeah, they got to improve the airport.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And I know for sure most Bahamians do not really want the government, mind you, to get hold of Freeport as it relates to the port, but they want them to put some more accountability on the port. I live between Alpha and Freeport. I can tell you, I know there's something that's going on. I can tell you, of course, living in Freeport High, man. Of course, it's high. You go to the food store at $100, you come out with one bag of grocery, and you're still short half the things you need. So the cost of living is high, and the port do not allow you to owe them much money. You pay them on time.
Okay.
I tried to meet with Ian Rose for the last month or so. I told him I have a proposal. I will present him with something. I really think Grand Bahama could become good Disneylando. Grand Bahama has an opportunity to do it. Freeport, not Grand Bahama. Freeport has an opportunity
Okay.
to take it the whole of the northern region. Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini, just how Disney takes care of the whole of Orlando.
Okay.
And they have the ability to do it. I have a plan in my head. I wanted to discuss with Ian Road. I am still waiting to have a meeting with him. He promised me a meeting, but the secretary promised me an appointment. I haven't gotten that yet.
Okay.
And as soon as I get that opportunity, I want to show him a plan I think can really cost Freeport to take care of the whole of the northern region.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Thompson, you want to comment on that?
No, I think the points that the caller made, I think, were extremely good points. I mean, I think in particular, the one about holding the Port Authority accountable.
Okay.
I think, again, no one can argue that the Grand Bahama Port Authority needs to be held accountable. I mean, it's a point that I had raised on previous occasions that the Port Authority system actually needs to change. If you are going to govern over folks, you must be accountable to those same folks who you govern over. And so they have quasi-governmental functions. And so I think those functions must you must put in place different things that are going to help hold people accountable. But I believe the way that the government is going about it is not the best way of going about it. I believe it will cause investors to pause. It will cause issues with investor confidence. And that's not what we need right now. That's not what Grand Bahama needs.
You
Grand
need
Bahama jobs. And if we have potential investments out there that have been already approved, then I believe the government's focus really should be on moving all of those investments,
getting them going,
to move heaven and earth to make sure that those investments put the capital in the ground, and those investments create those jobs that is so desperately needed for Grand Bahama.
Yes, we do. Let's take our next caller. Call you on the air.
Hey, good day, Pearlie.
Hey, baby girl, what you saying?
How are you?
Thank God for life.
Man, listen, I was missing. Didn't catch you yesterday, man. I hear everybody else. Listen, you're just taller than I expected, however.
Yes.
Yeah. What I wanted to say, two things. To your guest.
Okay.
If he was to rate this government with consistency, what would his rating be? Because in my view, they are not consistent with much of anything that they say. You understand?
Okay.
And I feel like this fight that they are having, it seems to be more between Fred Mitchell and the port, even though what they are doing needs to be done. But I feel like the publicity put to it, I think it's on the backs of Fred Mitchell. I don't feel like he is doing a good job at this. And then another thing I wanted to ask him is that when they get no, my bad. Seeing that he is the shadow minister
of finance, yes.
Yes. Is it possible for him to get his hands on this bill? So seeing that this is a part of his portfolio?
That is what he said earlier, that they have not seen the bill that the government is claiming that the port owes. And he's calling for the government to put it in the public domain so that we all can know what's going on and have a clearer understanding as to what they owe and what they owe this money for. So, no, he has not seen the bill.
No, I understand, but the part of the public domain, I'm talking about him personally as being a part of that office. Is it possible for him, even if they don't want to share it with us all, if it's possible for him to see it?
Mr. Thompson?
Again, let me thank the caller for calling. Excellent points. I think she's spot on in terms of her observations. But we have not gotten it. I know that the leader of the opposition, through his office, has made that public request that the government release that information, release whatever bill documents, whatever it is that they have presented to the Port Authority, and we have not gotten it. We have not gotten an answer in terms of them releasing it. The government has not been very good at releasing documents.
My first question is, how do you rate the government in how its government's been working?
Well, very, very, very poor. I mean, I've said it many, many times that the government, again, has not been transparent. It has not been accountable. I've spoken on a number of issues where they have not been accountable. They have not been transparent. They've been operating in the secret, operating in the dark, operating contrary to the law. All of those things I believe the government has been doing, and it is a disservice, and I want to call it to bear this in mind. It is a disservice not to the opposition. It's a disservice to her and the rest of the people.
Yeah.
That the government has not been transparent and has not provided the necessary information. This is your money. This is your issues that are happening, and you ought to know more about what's happening and why your government is doing it. So I think that there's a better way of doing this. The government again ought to be more focused on providing those jobs that are required, and not things that is going to hurt the provision of those jobs, and that's going to stifle the movement, stifle investment, stifle economic activity. That's not what the government ought to be doing. And I want folks to also understand, if somebody really wants to fight for you, it's not a question of you going out in the public and saying, or you having a public fight on this front, because it is a very simple way of providing what Grand Bahama needs. Grand Bahama needs you to provide the jobs. We ought to be working on that. Grand Bahama needs you to provide social assistance. You ought to be working on that. Grand Bahama needs you to provide job repairs. You ought to be working on that. It doesn't make sense for you to be a parent to try and fight on one avenue, and then those things that you can do that are required and that are in your power to do, you are not doing. So again, we gotta measure this out and weigh this out, and the reality, the government ought to be providing those jobs that is required. And they're right. The cost of living in Grand Bahama is extremely high.
Yes.
The cost of electricity is extremely high. The cost of providing water is extremely high, because the Grand Bahama Port Authority just recently approved the increase of water.
Wow.
They just recently approved the increase in electricity. So yes, this cost of living is extremely high, but the government can provide also the assistance that is required. They could quite easily take VAT off of all healthy food. They could quite easily provide more assistance when it comes to social service. I've gotten so many calls from persons who live in Grand Bahama, senior citizens who live in Grand Bahama, who cannot access social services. There are so many persons who live in East Grand Bahama who have issues and are waiting for DRA. They are waiting for urban renewal. They are waiting for assistance when it comes to these house repairs. So the government could be doing that. And that would provide the needs that Grand Bahama and Grand Bahamians really need.
Our next caller. Caller, you on the air? Caller, are you there?
Hey, Pearl, you can hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I
My
can.
battery getting there, that's why I got to scream. You can hear me clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Pop here. That's Quasi or Quasi, right?
Quasi Thompson. Honorable Quasi Thompson, yeah.
This the blind
Yes, sir.
one,
How you
Papa,
doing,
Quasi.
That's Papa. Go ahead, Papa.
Quasi, you can hear me?
He can hear you. He
I
can
can
hear
hear you
you.
quite well. Go ahead, man.
Okay, I wanted to say to you that it ain't nothing about what I like or nothing, but it's more like when you guys, not just the F&M, but all you all politicians, when you all in opposition, you always be so helpful, man. We like you all in opposition because when you all in opposition, you all really work for us, the Bahamian people. Crazy, what I want to know, not what the government doing wrong with the situation, or maybe you could tell us what is it, in your opinion, because you represent the eastern part of Bahama, right?
Yeah.
What is they doing wrong? Or tell us, if you had anything to say, or if you had to suggest to them, what should they do concerning asking the port for the money and all that stuff and everything? Maybe the port should pay, but what are they doing wrong and how should they go about it? Pearly.
Hey.
Congratulations to you and Naughty with the show.
Thank
Pearly,
you. Thank you very much.
Why you read what you read in the papers when the show started? You can read. You're doing sports 5 o'clock, right?
5 o'clock, yes.
You're keeping Quasi there the whole hour. You only talking to Quasi with the Port Authority?
But Port Authority in Grand Bahama, then we can talk sports at 5 o'clock.
Because you know, you start by reading in the papers what the Omar mother say and all that stuff.
Yeah, Naughty and I are going to talk about that tomorrow. We agreed that he'll talk about that tomorrow, so we can put some time into that, yes.
I had a loved one snuff or two. My sister was killed.
Yes.
And I feel like why vigilante justice going on today? You give someone 15 or 30 years that don't bring your loved one back.
I agree.
This crime of passion and plead bargain and all that stuff. People are just sick of that. I mean, You should respect the law, right?
Yes.
But don't care how much years they give them people, they ain't gonna bring them back here. A sitting cabinet minister of my New Day government, brother, starved my sister to death. You know how people feel out here? No, let me put it this way. If you could go kill someone, this is what we got to think as human beings. If we can make up our mind, and sometimes it be crime and passion, and we don't think, right?
Yeah.
But be willing to give your life, man. Be willing, because ain't nobody's family resting until they feel like you get justice. They want. Listen, if you could take someone, be willing to give your life. You take somebody's life, brother. Keep it the good way.
Yeah, we can talk. So he's asking you, what if you were in power today, Crazy, what would you be doing to get this money from the party? What would you do differently than the government's doing, other than making it a public spectacle?
Again, first of all, I need to understand why it is that the government is saying the port owns this money. I do not have that information.
Okay.
So the first thing I would do is make sure that information is accurate, make sure that information is correct, before I take on having this great big public fight. And secondly, I would be focusing on those things that Grand Bahama desperately needs. I would be focusing on making sure that we provide the jobs for them. I'd be focusing on making sure that we move investments from approval stage to shovel in the ground, providing those necessary jobs. I would move heaven and earth to be able to move these things forward and provide those jobs for them. And again, I would also, if I really, really care and want the folks and want benefit for the folks and want to fight for the folks, then those things that I can do, I would be doing. Those things like necessary social services for folks,
yes,
for the seniors, I would be doing that. For the home repair, I would be doing that. The infrastructure issues out east and out west, I would be doing that. If the reality is there are things that the government can be doing and ought to be doing that they are not doing. If they want to really fight for people, just do those things.
And we'll be happy.
We'll provide the necessary assistance for those folks in my constituency and those folks throughout the rest of Grand Bahama. That is what I believe we would be focused on. That's what we would be doing. Now, also, we would not be allowing the Port Authority not to be held accountable. I think there are different things that the Port Authority ought to be doing that we would ensure and that we would make the necessary changes and put those necessary things in place. We would work towards making sure that there's some accountability that the people can hold them accountable. We would audit the licensees, whether it is through helping them to organize, whether it is through legislative changes, whether it is through bridging, sitting down at the table with the licensees and the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the government to make sure that there's some necessary changes. Listen, if you have countries that can sit down at a table, if you have the folks in Gaza and the folks in Israel and the U.S. can sit down and negotiate a war, then it is quite possible for the government, the Port Authority, the licensees to sit down and work this out without there being a public fight and without there being a threat of arbitration or a threat of court. I think that is quite possible. So I think the government is going about this the wrong way. I think, unfortunately, the steps and the more they talk about this in the public, the more investors are going to be affected, the more they are going to pause their investments. And so, that's what I think we ought to be doing. If we would believe, that's what we would be doing as well.
Okay.
And so, I think that those things would we be doing.
Okay. Caller, you on the air.
Good afternoon, Pearly.
Good afternoon, brother.
I'm Crazy.
Good afternoon.
Crazy, you a lawyer, right?
Yes, sir.
So, a contract is a contract. Now, the government was wrong and not 70 years, take them to make up a bill. So that's money lost. But see, this is our money we lost. That's the public money that went to London. That could have stayed here if they followed the law of the contract. The government shall present them with a bill and have 30 days to pay it. But 70 years and billions of dollars wasted. Did you think now it's time? We have 30 more years left to either start a payment, like start a billion period, and in 20 years we can say you owe us $1 billion and $2 billion. We could go to court and take it over. See, Mr. Bean, like anti-PLP, that's the people that's following the contract.
It's not. Caller. I hear what you're saying, and I didn't hear anybody saying anti-PLP. All I'm hearing saying is we want to. The port has not received the bill. They don't know what they owe for. The government is saying you owe $300,000. But let me ask you this question, and this is the same question Zhivago asked somebody earlier. If I come and tell you owe me $300, you can pay me and you ain't got no bill from me?
I'm quite sure they got a bill. I'm quite sure the PricewaterhouseCoopers.
They said they don't know. They have not received the bill. That's what they're saying. They got a letter telling them they should receive this, they should pay this money, but they did not get a breakdown. You owe me $100 million for this, $200 million for that, $50 million. They have not said that, and that's all. I think they're asking for a breakdown. I think so. Let's take on.
And also, and I respect the caller's view and the caller's opinion. But the term that I believe the caller is referring to is not that simple. It is a very detailed term that provides, under certain circumstances, then the government ought to be reimbursed. So we need to understand, why is it that the government is saying that you owe this? They have not provided that evidence. They have not provided the accounting. They have not said, well, this is the amount that the government made. This is the amount that the Port Authority made. So this is why we are saying we owe this money. So we need to understand why it is, and that's why I'm not making any comment on whether they owe it or whether they don't owe it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that they have to provide the evidence to the public so that we could judge for ourselves whether they owe it.
Okay.
I think it's critical, and it is not something that ought to be hidden from the public. If you say these folks owe the money, then disclose why you say they owe it. At the very least, it should be disclosed to them as to why they're saying they owe it. And then it should also be disclosed to the public.
Before I take this call, let me ask you this question. The Prime Minister, somebody from the government said, and I'm not going to say that, somebody said the F&M don't want to collect taxes. That's why they're siding. Let me rephrase it. They're siding with the Grand Bahama Port Authority because the F&M don't want to collect taxes. What do you say to that?
I have said time and time again that the Port Authority needs to be held accountable. I have said time and what is wrong with the Port Authority and how the Port Authority ought to change.
Okay.
My concern, though, is that we need to ensure that the people of Grand Bahama, that's who I am fighting for and who I believe the main concern is about, that whatever is done in the best interest of them, and that they are provided with the jobs, which is what they really need. They need those jobs so that they could provide for their families. Okay. They need those things like the social services. They need those things like the home repair. Those are real issues in Grand Bahama. Listen, every single day I talk to constituents, and those constituents tell me that those are issues that really are affecting them. Okay. So I have to fight for them. I have to fight for what they are saying those issues are that affect them.
Amen. Let's take this caller. Caller, you on the air?
Hey, Pearly, how you doing?
Hey, my brother, what's up?
Doing great. And Mr. Thompson, good afternoon to you. I thank you so much for bringing some clarity to the conversation this afternoon. Here are a couple of points that I want to express. First and foremost, the government is saying right now, painting the picture, that investors are right now hesitant. And this is just my thinking now to what I feel that they're trying to convince the Bahamian people, that investors are now hesitant to invest in Grand Bahama because of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. My thing is, and how much did they say, 200 billion or 2 billion? Something like that, a figure they threw out there. Let me ask this question. Is Freeport the only part of Grand Bahama that deserves investment? Why is it if the airport is not being put back into service in a quick fashion, whereas we can begin to move the economy of Grand Bahama again? Why is there's no focus on West End Airport to get that one up and running through the government's investment in trying to get an airport up and running? And then secondly, why I asked the initial question. So these investors that they say that have an interest in Grand Bahama, are they just interested in you find investments throughout the island to have these investors to put their so-called infrastructure down and everything to spur the economy in the different parts of Grand Bahama, whereas you do not have to basically depend on Freeport proper to create the economy for Grand Bahama. This is some of the things that people out here, these are some of the questions that people out here are asking. West End needs an infrastructure, needs an investment. Holmes Rock needs an infrastructure and investment. East End needs the stuff. Williamstown needs the stuff. You can tell me that the investors that they have in mind has not looked at the entire Grand Bahama Island to invest in, but just Freeport proper? Come on, something is wrong with this equation. Thanks for taking my call today.
Calling. Let me take this one more call, then I'll let you comment, Mr. Thompson. Caller, you on the air. Caller, you on the air. Okay, we missed that call. Okay, it's the caller's here. Sorry, caller, you on the air. Go ahead, caller. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Kwesi.
No, I think again the caller raises some very, very important points, and again sort of reiterates the points that I've been raising, which is we need to ensure that investments flow not just in Freeport, but we need to ensure that those investments flow throughout the whole entire island of Grand Bahama. And he raises a good point that the Port Authority is only responsible for the Freeport area. So what happens with those investments? Why can't we ensure that those investments move into West Grand Bahama? And most certainly, I know in East Grand Bahama, we can most definitely use on those investments in East Grand Bahama.
You'll be happy to get them.
We could use the infrastructure issues that are required in East Grand Bahama. I've been arguing for a seawall for quite some time that is required in High Rock. These are things that if you want to fight for Grand Bahama, if you want to ensure and you are interested in Grand Bahamians, these are the things that Grand Bahamians are interested in. These are the things that will make their lives better. So provide those. That's the only thing that we are arguing for, and that's the only thing that we are saying. Hold the Port Authority accountable. Yes, we need to ensure and that there is a change of ownership. That could mean adding persons. That could mean replacing persons. Fine, that also needs to happen. We agree with that. But we need to do it in a way that will not harm in existing investments and not prevent investors from coming. And we need to make sure that we, again, like I say, move heaven and earth to change those $2 billion in approvals, that we actually provide the jobs for people. That is what Grand Bahama needs. That's what Grand Bahamians are interested in.
That's what
they
want.
Will make their lives better. That's what they want. So that's where I believe the government should be focusing their time, their energies. That's what I believe if we were there, if the leader, Michael Pintard, that's what I believe all of us would have been focused on, is ensuring that we move approvals from an approval stage, that we provide those necessary jobs that Grand Bahama needs.
Now, they say time flies when you're having fun, so I can't let you go unless I throw one or two political questions at you.
I don't know if I could answer them, but go right ahead.
I can be careful. People, the FNM has always said that Grand Bahama is FNM country. Can it remain that way?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's no, without question, I believe that we can take all five. This coming election, I most certainly believe that the FNM is still the best choice for us in Grand Bahama. The FNM and FNM candidates, I believe, are going to be ready for this upcoming election. So the short answer, absolutely yes.
Well, let me ask you this then, and with the, and I'm going to use this word, apparent infighting within the party, why should the voters trust the FNM again?
So again, most certainly we need to be on one accord. Most certainly, as a party, we need to not just that we are together. We need to show the public that we can be trusted once again. I believe things are moving in the right direction.
Okay.
I believe that once the convention is there, we've made the final decision as to who is going to lead us, and I believe every sensible FNM is going to ride behind and come together behind that leader. And so I support Michael Pintard. He and I work well together. I have no difficulties in saying that. So, once the convention is finished, whoever is the leader, then we will support whoever is the leader.
And my last question before I let you go, how can Grand Bahamians help themselves? With all of this is going on, how can Grand Bahamians make Grand Bahama a better place?
I think Grand Bahamians are strong. Grand Bahamians are resilient. Grand Bahamians have unfortunately gone through more than their share of they've gone through more than their share of hard times, and they are continuing to press on. They're continuing to move ahead. I think one thing Grand Bahamians are doing, and I would encourage them to continue to do, is to prepare themselves.
Okay.
I think they ought to go into training. They ought to prepare themselves for these investments that will come. I believe, unfortunately, they won't come under this government, but when the Free National Movement becomes the government again, then they will come. But at that time, Grand Bahamians should be well prepared to be able to take advantage of those investments. So again, I believe that the Free National Movement is still strong in Grand Bahama. From my estimation, in East Grand Bahama and moving throughout the island of Grand Bahama, I believe the Free National Movement is still very, very strong in Grand Bahama, and we are looking forward to the next election to when, hopefully, prayerfully, the Grand Bahamians will give us another opportunity to serve, and the rest will be served.
Our time is up. I want to thank you so much, but I want you to make me a promise. Come on again when the budget debate, when the budget communication is made. I'd like you to come on with me and have a conversation about the budget and give us, as the Shadow Minister of Finance, what kind of budget you think it is. So that will be sometime next month or the beginning of June. How's that?
Absolutely. Not a problem. I'm always happy to be on your show. You are doing an excellent job. Let me also share what the comments of the callers have been. Let me encourage you as well.
Thank you very much.
Keep it up. You are doing a wonderful job and keeping the people informed, holding everybody accountable. So keep it up, doing a great job.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, the Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama. Thank you so much for joining me. When we come back, we're going to take a break, go to the news. When we come back, we're going to talk sports. It's another sad day in sports. We lost a sports icon. We'll talk about that right after the news break. This is Pearly. It's Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Talking Heads Thursday with Pearly. We'll be back right after the news. Thank you again, Kwesi.
Play with Island Games, we making dreams come true. Play with Island Games, we paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market, you getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy, and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first, guaranteed to pay. Island Games, we like them other jokers. We've been here from the start, from the bike to computer. Island Games, we can make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Enjoy the flavors of summer with a mega-sized KFC combo and get a secret code for a chance to win. KFC and Pepsi is giving away daily beach bundles of a KFC bag packed with KFC shades, a bucket of 25 KFC whole wings, and a 2-liter Pepsi, plus a weekly cash prize of $1,000. Whether it's original recipe, spicy, or barbecue, get your favorite KFC combo today and mega-size your summer fun. KFC Nassau, it's mega finger-licking good.
Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your gal. Come witness history in the making at the 2024 World Athletic Relays Chase the Sun, Paradise to Paris, happening here in Nassau, Bahamas. Hundreds of the best runners from more than 40 countries will compete for their place in the 2024 Paris Olympics, May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets early at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Made exactly the way they should be by someone with chicken in their name. The new Kentucky Chicken Sandwiches feature a quarter pound of all-white meat, triple breaded, spicy chicken breast filet on a freshly toasted buttery brioche bun. With your choice of lettuce, tomato, bacon, thick-cut pickles, and the perfect amount of Colonel's Real Mayo or spicy sauce. Every chicken sandwich is freshly prepared and piping hot. Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwiches, the only chicken sandwiches that are finger-licking good.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries John's located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News Sales Representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Nice to meet you, Jazz. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an independent 27-year-old manager who wants her own home with her own rules.
Sounds good. I'll help you get there.
We see you, the go-getter, with big plans, and we've been keeping you in mind. Follow your goal home with a mortgage from CIBC Caribbean, and don't bother about your home insurance, as we'll help with that and more. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more info. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is your afternoon update on the Guardian News Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Destiny Johnson. Here's a look at stories making headlines at this hour. Prime Minister Philip Davis has signed an agreement with Afrexim Bank to host an African Import-Export Banks meeting in New Providence in June, which is expected to attract over 3,000 delegates to the country. The meeting is designed to promote trade and investment opportunities between Africa and the Caribbean region. Prime Minister Davis said the meeting will provide a platform to discuss climate resilience, financial inclusivity, and digitalization of the economy. The Royal Bahamas Police Force has established a domestic violence center following the findings and recommendations of the Bahamas Women's Health and Well-Being Survey. The survey, which took place in 2022, is the first national prevalence survey on gender-based violence to highlight the extent and implications of violence against women. According to the findings, 1 in every Bahamian woman aged 18 to 64 have experienced physical or sexual violence, and most of the abuse has been severe. And police alleged suicide attempt which occurred yesterday in Western New Providence. Reports indicate that shortly after 5 p.m., police were notified of the incident, which involved a 35-year-old woman who reportedly ingested a large quantity of over-the-counter medication. The victim was taken to the hospital via emergency services for medical attention and evaluation. Police are urging anyone experiencing mental health concerns to communicate with family members, friends, religious leaders, counselors, or contact the crisis center at 328-0922. And that's a look at stories making news at this hour. Once again, I'm Destiny Johnson. Stay with us.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Good morning, I'm Ed Donahue with an AP News Minute. O.J. Simpson has died. A message posted on Simpson's official X account, formerly Twitter, said he died after battling cancer at the age of 76. Simpson was a star football player in college and in acting. He's also known for his acquittal on charges he killed his ex-wife and her friend.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
O.J. Simpson was later found liable in a separate civil trial. A decade later, a jury convicted Simpson of armed robbery and other felonies in Las Vegas for stealing from 2 sports memorabilia dealers. He spent 9 years in prison. As far as the death of his ex-wife, Simpson said this in his book, I Want to Tell You.
Trust me, I would have never taken Nicole from our 2 little children. I would have taken myself out of their lives, not Nicole out of their lives.
A statement on O.J. Simpson's X account said he died surrounded by his children and grandchildren. I'm Ed Donahue.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Burger King, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, ESC Distributors Limited, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, Fun Foods Wholesale, the IAAF Road Relays Bahamas, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, and Tropical Gyros.
And welcome back, Talking Heads Thursday with Pearly, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. That was a wonderful first hour. I wish we could continue, but I promise I was doing sports today. We didn't do that yesterday. You're not going to round me out today. But just before we get into sports, I didn't get a chance to read the texts, so I'm going to read the texts. Pearly, there's only one person. That's no other than Fred Mitchell. Trust me. Next texter says, RPM contradicts himself so much he's now tripping over himself. One day he says that his government attracted over $2 billion investment dollars to Freeport, but today he says capital is not being attracted to Freeport. Which is it, Mr. Prime Minister? Next texter says, great show as usual, Pearly. I'm being serious with this text question. Why the government never thought outside the box and looked for a Russian investor to invest in Freeport? Great show as usual. I don't want the government try run or take over the Port Authority because we don't properly maintain infrastructure in Nassau. Think now PM Davis thought this true when Carnival opens next year along with Shipyard and all that make up that $2 billion. What are they as a government to campaign on next year? Interesting. Good day to my good friend and decent next Minister of Finance. My concerns are not the report from the PwC. It is the request from the government as them. Hey, Pearly, let's just say the government wins the case against the port. Will they take the money and fix up Grand Bahama because it's really needed over there, plus many, much more need jobs? Mr. Thompson, can you ask the GPA to review the cost of living rate increase onto our annual service charge every 3 years? Thompson, have you received the campaign funds from the port? Have the FNM received campaign funds from the port? I will put that question when I have the leader on so he can answer that question. Port Authority needs to go. If behemoths vote PLP or FNM again, then I will start calling in to laugh at y'all for being stupid. And the last few texts. Pearly, who is the guest? Crazy. The cost of living is higher in New Providence than in Grand Bahama, much higher. I relocated to New Providence and I have been trying to rent a 1-bedroom apartment and cannot find one in decent enough area for less than $1,500. In Grand Bahama, I can rent a 2-bedroom apartment for that amount. Additionally, a piece of land in New Providence costs almost 5 times as much. This compared to the piece of property in Grand Bahama. I'm one of the few that continue to paint the picture that the cost of living in Grand Bahama is higher than that of New Providence. That is not so. Stop the talks about jobs. What about us owing piece of the rock? Crazy was excellent. And, that's the quote on that. Maybe, I rent cheap in Grand Bahama because I see plenty empty apartments. So people probably drop the rate just to get you to rent it. But try going to the food store. Try going to the food store. Or try going to Wendy's or one of the fast food restaurants in Grand Bahama. You'll find out just how expensive it can be. Let's move on to sports. It's a day in sports. We lost the icon in sports, but just before we get into that, let's do what we always do, the day in sports history. Today is Thursday, April 11, 2024. Today in sports history, in 1907, New York umpire Bill Clem called a forfeit in favor of the Phillies when Giants fans disrupted play with snowballs. In 1921, the first live sports event on radio took place this day on KDKA radio. The event was a boxing match between Johnny Ray and Johnny Dundee. In 1940, Andrew Ponzi set a world record in the New York Pocket Billiards tournament when he ran 127 straight balls. In 1947, Jackie Robinson became the first black player in Major League Baseball history. He played in an exhibition game for the Brooklyn Dodgers, now known as my Los Angeles Dodgers. In 1966, Emmett Ashford became the first African-American Major League umpire. In 1980, Gordie Howe played his final NHL game at 52 years and 10 days old. 52, and he was still playing hockey. In 1999, Spain's Jose Maria Olazabal won the 63rd Masters Golf Tournament. I know I messed up his last name. In 2001, in Johannesburg, South Africa, 43 people died during a stampede at a soccer match at Ellis Park Stadium. Another 160 was injured. Sports quote of the day: I'll always be number one to myself. Moses Malone. He's famous for saying, fo, fo, fo. Front page of the Guardian Sports page, $50,000 for gold medalists. World Athletic to pay Olympic champions. So if you win the gold in the 100-meter sprint in Paris, you get $50,000. And then in the next Olympics in 2028, they'll pay for second and third place. The relay team will split the $50,000, so you'll get $12,500 each. So the gold medals get that for every track and field event. Next thing, and the page, Shawnee looking forward to World Relays. We're looking forward to seeing you back on the track, girlfriend. Ayton has another 30-point outing. Heel Gordon reached double digits. Interesting. So, open up my sports page today and got the shock. I don't want to say it's the shock of my life, but I got a shock. The sports icon is dead. O.J. Simpson died today at 76 years old. His family announced that today on X, formerly known as Twitter. I just can't used to call it X, so I can say Twitter. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. And during this transition, his family's asking for some privacy and grace. So, but people are going to talk about it. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So he died from prostate cancer beginning from that. But OJ was a former football star, an actor. He fell into infamy after his playing career because, he was accused of killing his ex-wife and her friend. He went through the most dramatic car chase that wasn't speeding, but he had 1 million police cars falling behind his white SUV up the highway in California. He went through a lengthy case, and a lawyer by the name of Johnny Cochran, in this case, had these gloves and asked OJ to stand up to fit the gloves, and the gloves that they said that they found not too far from the murder scene, I think in the back of his yard, if I remember correctly, and saying that these are the gloves that he wore when he killed the person, and the gloves did not fit. And he said, if they don't fit, then you must acquit. And and many people think that was the key thing that got him off, because, if the jury has any doubt, they have to come back not guilty. And when he put that doubt in the jury head, and he came back not guilty. Johnny Cochran went on to be a famous lawyer, a much more famous lawyer, and I think Johnny Cochran died in 2005, if I remember correctly. But it was 50, they introduced, in this case, 59 different incidents of domestic violence alleged to be perpetrated against Nicole Brown Simpson at the hands of her husband over a 17-year period. And he was found guilty. So afterwards, he was found guilty of armed robbery and conspiracy to kidnap in October 2008 after he was accused of holding two memorabilia dealers in a room and stealing items from them that he claimed was his items. He said he was trying to receive his personal memoirs and the career of his personal life, and they were selling it. I think the family is trying to get money since when they lost, he got not guilty. He was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame in 1983. He was elected to the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame in 1985. He won a national title and Heisman Trophy in his 2 seasons at USC from 1967 to 1968. The Buffalo Bills selected Simpson the number 1 overall pick in 1969 NFL draft. He was the first running back in NFL history to surpass 2,000 yards in a single season. And when he did it in 1972, en route to being named the MVP. Simpson finished the top 4 in MVP voting in 4 consecutive seasons from 72 to 75. He played the final 2 seasons of his NFL career for the San Francisco 49ers before retiring after the 1979 season. Simpson had a very successful year. And I think he acted in The Naked Gun. I think he acted in Airplane, or one of those movies he acted in. So, dead at 76, O.J. Simpson. He was a nemesis to the Miami Dolphins. But he had his famous commercials with the Hertz commercials where we saw him running through the airport, jumping over bags and jumping over chairs to catch his flight. It was interesting. He had a great football career. Got into that problems. After that, the family took him to Silver Court, found him guilty, basically cleaned him out. The fella sold his paraphernalia, his memorabilia, I should say, and when they robbed him, he spent 9 years in jail, and then today, dead at 76. Let's take this caller. Caller, you on the air? Are you there, caller?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I don't know, bro. How you doing?
I good.
I was trying to get in.
Why you wait always till like almost 5 o'clock to call?
No, let me start off by saying good afternoon, Burley. No, I wasn't waiting. You all had me on hold a few times, but never came to me.
But the calls were, I had calls on top of calls on top of calls. But be talking sports, but I can give you 2 minutes, Anton.
Okay, well, I wanted to pose some rhetorical questions, but questions that would provide information nonetheless to the shadow minister for the opposition.
Yeah.
Mr. Crazy Thompson.
Yeah, Crazy was on the show. Yeah.
If he's listening in, perhaps he can still send the answers to you or get them to you perhaps for tomorrow. The questions were, Pearly, what investments did the Port Authority cause while they were the government? Well, it would have read while you were the government.
Okay.
For 4.5 years, right?
Okay, that was the East Ground. That's what, the Carnival Project? Okay, go ahead.
No. They didn't cause any investments. But nonetheless.
Wait. Who brought the Carnival here? The Carnival, the investment of the East Ground Carnival Cruise Line.
That was an initiative that was born under the Christie administration, under the then Minister of Tourism, God bless his soul, Minister Obi Wilchcombe.
It was born. Who was it signed under?
It was signed under the then Hubert Ingram administration.
Okay.
But it was born under the Christie administration.
Born.
And then I wanted to ask also, what, if anything, did the F&M government did? Well, it would have been, did your government do to cause the Port Authority to fulfill their obligations of procuring investments in Freeport? That one I really would have been interested in.
Okay.
In hearing from Mr. Thompson. And then finally, Pearly, I wanted to ask and get the answer from him based upon the audit, the accounting and audit report that was produced by PricewaterhouseCoopers at the request of the Prime Minister, the current government.
And you saw the report?
No, I haven't seen the report.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Well, to be even more specific to your question, Pearly, the government has done all it and is doing all it could, and it's on the record in stating that it will not release the personal details of that report into the public domain. And if it does, it certainly won't be at this juncture. I mean, it would be seen as very unprofessional. On top of that, to take or undertake such action, it would be extremely unprofessional, and it would certainly bring into question in any serious investor's mind the seriousness of the government that they're seeking to do business with in the Bahamas. So I'm pretty happy with that position that the government has taken. But I note that Mr. Thompson continued to repeat that if the government was serious, it would provide that report to the public. I mean, Mr. Thompson,
I'm done. Let me say this much. Hold on. If I come and say I owe you, if you owe me $500, you don't want
the next thing what I want to.
You want me to show you where I owe you that, right?
Absolutely.
So all he's saying is, if the Port Authority owes the government $300+ million, show us where you owe it. What's wrong with that?
No, Pearlie. What you were saying, I understand, right?
And I think that's exactly I'm just repeating what I understood him to be saying.
No, Mr. Thompson, the Crazy Thompson, because we're all Thompsons.
Yes.
Mr. Crazy Thompson said that the government should provide them and the port with that information.
Shouldn't they? Shouldn't the opposition have it? Because that's the government in waiting. Shouldn't the opposition be able to see it, to comment on it?
Absolutely not.
Why not? Why not? Isn't it called
that,
transparency, accountability?
That is information.
So that should be So what you're telling me? Let me just be clear. Hold on. Let me. I can let you answer. But let me ask you this. I can put this into the question. What you're telling me is that the public should trust the government that you're telling us the right amount of money. But the port is saying, no, I'm asking you this. You're telling me that the government, the country shouldn't know what they owe. The government, we should trust that the government is giving the right figure while the port is saying the figure is incorrect. So who should we believe?
I never said that the country shouldn't know what is owed. The country does know what is owed. Because
hold on, Pearlie.
Show us what is owed. Let me just finish what I'm saying, Pearlie. The government, its government, the people's government, the government that the people in the majority elected, provided that specific
The majority
detail.
who voted that day. Let's don't say the majority. The majority
It's still the
voted.
majority.
Okay,
However you want to craft it, it's still a majority.
Go ahead.
The people's government did provide the information on how much is owed to it.
They gave us one figure. They gave us a figure of yes. So how I know what that figure right? How do I know that's correct?
I can get to that in a minute, Pearlie.
Well, you're taking up sports, and I can get around for this, so you got to move faster, please.
Let me just quickly finish what I'm trying to say, Pearlie. Hello?
I'm listening.
Okay, thank you. The government indicated that their report goes back 5 fiscal cycles, right? Which of those 5 fiscal cycles, only one of those fiscal cycles was actually a part of the Davis administration, right? The other 4 fiscal cycles were part of the former Prime Minister Minnis F&M-led administration, which Kwesi Thompson was a cabinet minister in.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And
fair.
so what I would have wanted to know from Kwesi Thompson is, why isn't it that for 4 fiscal cycles, the F&M did not seek to hold the Port Authority accountable?
Stop,
to pay,
brother. No, brother.
Why?
See, you skipping around and playing politics. No, you playing politics with me, and I asked you one simple question. Who does the people supposed to believe? Is the people supposed to believe they owe $300,000 when the port is saying no? Show us the figures. Show us the breakdown so we know how much money is owed. Simple as that.
My answer will end on responding directly to that.
So don't come and ask me. See, I can use the words that your foreign affairs minister says now. You in charge, fix it. Until sports time are gone. Sports time. Go ahead. I let you end.
I will end on that same specific question, right, Pearlie? The Mr. Kwesi Thompson continued to repeat that if you tell me I owe you something, you should be able to provide me with receipt.
Yes.
Show
if the bank called me and tell me I owe over my house, right? They can show me the paper where I owe.
And he further stated that the government has yet to do that. Right?
Yes.
That is where he's wrong. The Prime Minister also repeated, based upon what the law is that they're acting on, what the requirement is, and the requirement is that they provide the Port Authority with a detailed listing of
the port saying that ain't true. Who
with
telling
a
me the
detailed
truth?
listing of its bill, and upon providing that, they ought to settle it in 30 days. And if they are unable to settle it within 30 days, then they go to arbitration.
Let's
The
see what
government
happens then.
did indeed provide the port with a detailed
I
listing.
want to see
because
it. I want to see it.
Pricewaterhouse produced a report.
I
on
want
it.
to see it. I want to see it. The people who listen to this show want to see it. The people who are going to vote in the next general election wants to see it. Good afternoon, Anton. Thanks for calling, Anton. The people want to see it. Show the people what they got. Show the people. Let the people figure it out. Let the people come to a decision. Anyway, we talking sports today. If you're calling me but the port, I ain't taking your call no more today. I'm talking sports. I promise my listeners that we will talk sports today. We did not talk sports yesterday. And while it is hot and while I appreciate it, and while I appreciate you, I do appreciate your calls. But it's about sports. It's all about sports right now. And while we can take this caller now then. Caller, you on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Sports.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just connecting actually O.J. Simpson and Grand Bahama.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's a little known fact that he actually owned a home and lived in Grand Bahama shortly after the acquittal.
I didn't know that. Where, any particular, you know the area?
It was in a gated community, and I don't want to call it.
Fair enough. Right
After, and so I mean, there are others who I'm sure in Grand Bahama who've been calling and verify that yes, being from Grand Bahama, he spent loads of time in Grand Bahama.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's on that call.
Okay.
And I'll call back tomorrow, but I'm a first-time caller.
And I appreciate your
But
call.
I just wanted to add that tidbit because it's and unfortunately, and condolences to his family.
Yes.
But it does tie in because he spent a lot of time in the Bahamas, in particular in Grand Bahama.
Because Bahamas don't run for autographs, so he probably felt be able to rest and be quiet. Okay. Thanks for calling. We'll look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. Caller, you on the air? Are you there, caller?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
Willie?
Yes.
Willie, what Anton talking about? The bill with the government sent to the port, that's a 5-year bill, right?
He said 5 cycles, but I really don't want to talk about that. I really want to talk
I
sports.
cycles, Anton, too. I think you was going to say that's in a bill for 5 years.
Okay. Anyway, back to sports. We all know that the great Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was arrested for embezzling some money from him. And a lot of people are asking questions about what was going on, what happened and all that. Ohtani made a statement a few weeks ago that he didn't know anything was going on. And yesterday, the FBI cleared him of any wrongdoings and said that he was really just swung. I mean, he got Gino D. He got swing out of $16 million. Federal authorities announced Thursday that Masuhara, the former interpreter of Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani, has been charged with bank fraud following allegations that he stole more than $16 million from Ohtani for illegal gambling purposes. The Athletics noted that bank fraud is a felony offense that carries a statutory maximum sentence of 30 years in federal prison. Now, rumor has it, it was previously reported that he stole $4.5 million, was transferred from Ohtani's bank account and an illegal sports book to California. So Thursday, revelations was actually staggering. $16 million this brother steal from his boss. Wow, $16 million. Ooh, boy. The complaint states that between December 2021 and this January, Masuhara allegedly placed approximately 19,000 bets, losing bets of 182.94 million, winning bets of 142.27. Y'all hear these numbers? Total losses nearly $40 million. This dude really had a serious gambling problem. You know how much he bet? He lost $182 million in gambling. He won $142 million. He in the whole $40 million. Man, I crying if I in the whole 40 cents gambling. He's talking about $40 million? Wow. Calling you on the air. What you got to say?
Prince, what's going on, man?
Hey, right there, man. What you saying?
Which year you say O.J. Simpson come out?
He came out in 67, I think it was. You mean out of college?
Yeah, and then you say something in 69. What happened to him in 69?
You want me? I got to pull it back up then. I don't know. I forgot what I ain't as young as I used to be, you know.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think, where's that? I think 69 was when I think that's when he got, he was drafted, I think, was it 69?
Yeah, you say drafted. He's drafted as him.
Yeah, I think so.
I see why I never never get to see him play, man. I guess born in 69.
No, he played in the 70s. He played. He retired in 79 from the NFL.
Yeah, and I wasn't watching football then and things.
Yeah, I actually got an opportunity to see him play. My dad used to take me to the Dolphin games, and the very first Dolphin game I've been to, and if I remember, I think it might have been in 73.
Yeah, because that's that rivalry between the Bills and the Dolphins from back then.
And I was able to watch him play in the Orange Bowl, not the Stadium play, in the Orange Bowl, and Bob Greasy was the quarterback at the time. Mercury Morris was the running
championship quarterback.
Yeah, and Mercury Morris. So I got to see him play. So I had an opportunity to watch OJ play.
And he's the first running back to do 1,000 yards within one season.
2,000. The first running back to achieve 2,000 yards.
Man, he used to get on back.
Oh, he was good. He was really good.
Yeah,
he was
good,
smooth
man.
as silk.
He was good for the Bills, man. He was getting on stupid.
He was really good. And it was sad that he got himself in the problem because he could have gone down in history as one of the greatest ever.
And like you said, it was a slow speed chase. Not the first slow speed chase.
That was something. It was. They have a picture, one of the most epic pictures you want to see.
You remember they stopped the NBA Finals for that? No. The Finals was going on.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember what was going on at the time.
It was June 95 or so like that. The Finals was going on, but they had to break from the Finals and go to that slow speed chase.
Wow, yeah. I remember all the TV stations broke the way in Wednesday. I can't remember what I was watching at the time. Yeah.
Hey, so Miami, we beat up on Naughty them last night, right? We beat the Yankees, right?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. And actually, that last out was a deep fly ball to center field, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Naughty, take that, Naughty. Just and put it on y'all.
Yeah, it was a good game. I think the score was, I can't remember what the score was. I tell you the score right now.
Okay. I got one Miami beat because the next Miami we get beat bad. The Heat get beat bad, boy. Oh, $2 for the other.
It beat the Yankees 5-2 last night.
Okay, well, that's good. At least one Miami win.
Y'all got stomped, but y'all get beat.
Yeah, we got stomped. Good thing our 2 game is Toronto, so we're under 500 teams. So I hope if Sixers lose a game and Indiana lose a game, we might get slip back in 7.
You open lot. Let's see where y'all. Let's see you stand. Let's go quickly while I got you. All right, so y'all sitting in 8. Y'all in 8. So all y'all listen. It don't matter if you finish once y'all win that game, because even if y'all finish 7, you can play the Sixers.
That's right.
So once y'all win the win of that game, the win of the 7-8 game automatically becomes 7, and you play the Knicks.
Okay. Now before I go, don't let Anton swing you, man. Stop letting him swing you, but he couldn't get in. Yeah, he could have get in. Both of them get in, and Jeff get in, man. He choking. He just want to talk. He didn't talk to Chicago Lang. He talk to Dwight with the sport this morning. He want to talk on everything.
He talk to everybody.
Yeah, he's the spokesman for the PLP in the office of the Prime Minister.
I don't know.
He's the public relations officer.
I don't know.
How come we talk all these things, but the PLP and Trey Ramen don't know these things? Anyway, go on, man.
Muff, go on. Muff, you're so right. Let's read these texts and see what these texts got to say. Yeah, I got a couple of texts. AP News is back, baby. Great show as usual. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. The legend is gone. Pearly question: How good was O.J. Simpson, aka the Juice? He was great. He was, in my opinion, he's in the same conversation with Barry Sanders, with Sweetness. He's still in the conversation with Emmitt Smith. He's in that conversation. I think we lost talking about him because of what he did, or what he was accused of, and the trial and all that stuff. So people, you went, he killed his wife, and I think, and the debate's still today, whether was he guilty or not. As far as I'm concerned, the jury found him not guilty, and that's what it is. That's what the law says. But, he took the civil case, and they lost that. So, why do you let Anton do this to you? In my opinion, one of the best talk shows. This is wrong. Cut the PLP donkey kisser. I want to hear sports. And that's what we did. Thank you so much. And I said, I promised y'all sports, and I'm going to begin to do that. Y'all really just give the man too much time to talk nonsense. You can't argue a point with someone if you don't hear what they have to say. And if you want to jump up and make some statements that don't make you look good to the public, then just let the public hear so you have an opinion of what you think about it. So, that's the way I look at it. But I'm amazed by how Ohtani was robbed $16 million. I am amazed by that. I am amazed by that. But we can take our first break because I just stunned. We can take our first break. When we come back, we can talk a little bit of sports. We can get into the picks. And I got something decent for you all in the final 10. Okay? This is Pearly. It's Talking Heads Thursday on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay. Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We can make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Attention ice cream lovers! Are you ready to elevate your springtime indulgence and taste of luxury with Haagen-Dazs? For a limited time only, treat yourself to the quality of Haagen-Dazs ice cream for just $8.99 per pint. Yes, you heard that right. Indulge in the finest flavors without breaking the bank. This exclusive offer is available at all Lickety Split and Super Value locations. Experience the premium quality of Haagen-Dazs at an unbeatable price. Spring has never tasted this good.
The excitement, the fierce competition, the entertainment. On May 4th and 5th, our Bahamian athletes will compete with hundreds of the best from around the world to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics.
Gardner takes the title.
Come witness history as our athletes chase the sun from paradise to Paris at the 2024 World Athletic Relays. May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets now at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. Talking Heads, Thursdays, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. The greatest golfing event begun today, the Masters at Augusta. That's the golf tournament of all golf tournaments. And it began today. They had rain, so they didn't start. They started a few hours late. Who's this guy who's leading? Brian DeChambeau. I think I pronounced Chambu or something like that. He's 7 under through 18 holes. Scheffler is 5 under. Willett is 4 under. Zalatoris is 4 under. Fox is 3 under. Fitzpatrick is 3 under. Pavin is 5. A lot of the big guns just start late because the better you go, the better your score is when you play later. So Tiger Woods is like even after 5. Even after 5 holes. So the others, Mickelson is 1+ after 18. Scott is even after 5. Bradley even after 5. Reed even after 5. Smith, Thomas, all of them even after. So it's 16 holes, 14. So it's still going on. I don't know if a lot of these guys who start late are going to finish today, so they may have to start. Tomorrow morning and play the back half because it may get dark. A lot of them didn't start till about maybe half an hour, 45 minutes ago. So, but I'm excited about it. I'm going to go home to watch me some Masters. ESPN is carrying Tiger's whole 18 holes, so I'm going to go watch a little bit of Tiger. I had an uncle, God rest his soul, Samuel Hall, who's an avid golf fan, avid golf player, and him and I got together every year. So I'm really missing my uncle right now, who's not with us anymore. And he always called, how Tiger doing? He'd call and tell me how Tiger did and all that. So I'm excited about watching some golf. Yeah, I'm a sports fanatic, so that's going to be great. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Tiger been playing this for just probably his 30th year. I'm playing the golf. He started as a 19-year-old. He's 48, so do the math. So he birdied his first hole. Now he's even, so that means he had a bogey somewhere. In the game, he had a bogey somewhere. Let me see where he had this bogey. I'm excited about this. So just forgive me if I get a little bit too excited. Okay, if I get a little bit too excited right now. Golf is a great sport. I always tell people I'm terrible. I get frustrated, but for some reason, something always happens that makes me want to come back another day to play. So he birdied the first hole, he parred the second hole, he parred the third hole, he bogeyed the par 3 fourth hole. Bogey means he went 1 over. You have a certain amount if those of you who don't understand golf, you have a certain amount of strokes to get the ball into the hole. Par 3 is when you get 3 strokes to tee, second shot, third shot. So he bogeyed, and then he even par on the fifth. So the birdie for the first was eliminated by the bogey in the fourth, so he's even and moving into the sixth hole. That's exciting stuff to me. And some people say, oh, golf is boring and all that, but that's what I like about it. Major League Baseball is heating up. First week, 2 weeks have been finished. My Dodgers lost last night. Just a quick look at the standings so far to keep you abreast, because I know much people ain't watching. The Yankees are in first place in the AL East. They 10-3. The Orioles 7-4. Red Sox 7-5. The Rays 7-6. Toronto Blue Jays 6-7. 4 games out. In the AL Central, the Guardians are in first at 9-3. So pretty much same amount of losses as the Yankees. The Royals are 8-4. Always starts out really hot and then tapers off after the All-Star break. The Tigers 7-4. The Twins 4-6. The White Sox 2-10. And then in the AL West, the Texas Rangers, defending World Series champions, are 7-5. The Angels are 6-6. The Mariners 5-8. The Oakland Athletics, who will be moving to Sacramento for the next 2 years, and then Vegas, are 4-8. And the Astros, who should probably, they start out slow, they'll start playing some good ball, are 4-9 in last place. Over in the National League, East, the Atlanta Braves. And this is the team that I think will challenge my Dodgers. The Atlanta Braves are 7. We can take you right now, caller. The Atlanta Braves are 7-4. The Phillies are 6-6. The Mets are 5-7. The Washington Nationals 5-7. The Marlins are Marlins with Bohemian Josh Chisholm is 2-11. In the NL Central, we have the Pirates, who are in first place. The Brewers, who are a pretty good team, who should win that division, at 8-3. The Cubs 7-5. The Reds 6-6. Very fast team. The Cardinals 6-7. And over in the National League West, my Dodgers are in first place at 10-5. The Padres are 7-8. The Diamondbacks are 6-7. Giants are 5-8, and the Rockies are 3-10. They're pretty much done out of fitness. Only done played 2 weeks of baseball. Let's take this caller. See what he can call you on the air. How you doing, man?
Hey, Pearly, how you doing?
Hey, my brother, I'm good. What's up?
That's good, man. Listen to me, man. Bro, Dodgers ain't going nowhere. It's us Braves. Do what we got to do, eh?
I think we're going to see, last year, both of us got knocked out really early. Both of us should have been. But I think we'll see the Dodgers and the Braves in the National League pennant.
Have to be, man. They got the best pitching, the best hitting, the best fielders, defense, everything. Both of those teams.
Yeah. They should be 1-2. Yeah, it'll be a good game. I can't wait for a regular season to see how they look against each other.
I can't wait till we play all of the regular season. I will see how you all match up to us. I will tell you how you all match up to us.
Don't duck one out. I don't want after this. I can't hear from you after that now.
Man,
because I can't run. I got to be here either way.
But that guy named who we had striker, the fastball.
The pitcher, strike.
We got.
Yeah, I think it's strike it pronunciation.
I think he get injured or something, man.
You have an injury, and that's a key loss to y'all.
That's a very big loss to us, man.
But last year I lost Kershaw, Dustin May, Gosselin, Bueller. I lost 4 of my 4 top pitchers, and the rookies did it. So it's about the manager. If you can manage the injury until he's back, find some young pitchers in your farm system. It should be. Y'all should be all right.
You realize both our farm systems are elite, though.
Yes, that's why I say you should be able to find a pitcher in your farm system that can hold.
We don't get rid of them now.
No. That's why you see a lot of times when the Dodgers make moves, people ask for certain players, and the Dodgers say that player ain't moving tall. I'm mad we traded Michael Bush. Michael Bush made us pay the other day. He killed the Dodgers the other day when we played them.
Yeah, but he destroyed you all. Man.
Yeah.
He destroyed you. That's the same thing when we the trade, what's the guy who was to play first base for us?
You mean Freddie Freeman?
Freddie Freeman.
My first baseman.
Every time he play Freddie Freeman, he hit a home run on us. So I'll do
That's why I'm looking for it. Then my first baseman, I got it.
All right, Freddie. Have a good one, man.
You too, my brother. You take it. All right.
That's up.
That's it. Let's get into the picks. Let's see who got. Well, let's look at baseball quickly because no Dodgers playing tonight. So you got 6:40. You got the Pirates and the Phillies. You got the Orioles and the Red Sox at 7:10. Going on right now, boy. Carly, you hang up a little too quick. The Mets all over your Atlanta Braves, 16-4. They beat y'all today. The Astros lost to the Royals, 13-3. And Oakland shut out the Rangers 1-0. I think some rain in Detroit and Cincinnati, so both the Twins and the Reds games have been postponed until a later date. So let's get to the picks. You got 5 NBA games tonight. And the season ends on Sunday, so everybody got at least 2 games left. 1 or 2 players may have 3. But Sunday, the season end playoffs, the play-in game is on Tuesday. And the second one, I think, will be Thursday, and then the playoffs start the next weekend. So you got the Chicago Bulls who are going to be at the Detroit Pistons today. I got the Bulls 11.5-point favorites. I don't know if the Bulls could beat them that bad, but, Detroit basically has fought all season and told more beaten. You know what? I can be brave, and I can take the Bulls under points today. The Boston Celtics are 2.5-point favorites over the New York Knicks. Didn't Boston get beat last night? Was it last night they got beat? I think they got beat last night, was it? No, they got beat the night before. It was the night before they lost. So Boston is playing the Heat. The Knicks are at Boston tonight. Boston 2.5-point favorites. I can take Boston with the points. The Houston Rockets, who have been eliminated, Jazz who have been eliminated, it really don't matter who win this game. I can take the Rockets on the money line. It really don't matter who win that game. They done. This is a key game. The New Orleans Pelicans and the Sacramento Kings. The Kings and the Warriors and the Lakers are battling. The Kings need this win badly. Kings are a 1.5 favorite. I like the Pelicans, and I'll take the Pelicans to win. And then we got the Golden State Warriors hosting at the Portland Trailblazers. Golden State 13.5-point favorites. You know what? Golden State playing great basketball right now. They really balling. They realize what they're trying to get to. I picked Golden State, and I'm giving them the points in this one as well. Hockey is closing down as well. The hockey playoffs are going to begin really soon, so they're battling for playoff position. You got the Jersey Devils at the Toronto Maple Leafs. You got the Capitals at the Buffalo Sabres. You got the Flyers at the Rangers. You got the Detroit Red Wings at the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Ottawa Senators at the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Blue Jackets at the Florida Panthers. Montreal Canadiens is at the New York Islanders. Winnipeg Jets at the Dallas Stars. The San Jose Sharks at the Seattle Kraken. And the Calgary Flames at the LA Kings. You know that we got the Masters going on. That will continue for the rest of the evening. Let me read these couple of texts before we go. We got here. Yeah, I just, hey, Pearlie, let's just say the government wins this case against the Port. Will they take the money and fix the ground? We read that already. Mets 16, Braves 4 today. Yes, I just told Nicole he hang up a little bit too quick. And, hey, Pearlie, I wonder if you get any goggles for AD. You handled that Anton fella good. Thank you very much. Let's take this last caller before we go, Mr. Let me take this last caller. Caller, you on there. How you know, man?
That 14, the whatever way.
16-4?
I know where that comes from. Mets. I'll take home runs on that.
You watched the game? Did you get to watch it?
I watched a little bit when I watched the reason to lead, but then when I finished watching the game, they had a big lead on us and made it over.
Bunch of hits.
I gotta do is watch the rerun tonight.
Bunch of doubles. Stuart is the only one who but I don't see no bunch of. There's a bunch of doubles kill y'all today.
Yeah, a bunch of base runners.
They base hit y'all to death.
Still early. Yeah, man. I just want to say, do you think you'll ever see another Tiger Woods?
No. You mean another black golfer like that?
Yeah, to actually change the game where we actually watching the game.
Boy,
like how we used to.
I don't know, I don't see one there. I don't know, but there's so many good golfers coming up. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I mean, when I was young, I watched a lot of Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson and all that, which I thought was great.
Yeah, man. All of them used to watch because of Tiger, though.
Yeah. I was watching them before Tiger, and then because of Tiger, I got more.
Oh yeah,
I got
David
more.
Love the third, and all them guys.
Yeah, I actually
It was
started
great
playing.
golf
I
at
actually
that
started
time,
playing. I started playing a lot because of Tiger and my Uncle
Me
Sam.
too.
Yeah.
All right, Bird.
My game terrible.
Great show, man.
All right, thank you very much.
Later.
All right. Great show, great day, great afternoon. Thank you so much for the calls. Thank you for the texts. Those calls I didn't get, I do apologize. For the lady, the first time caller, tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about some things that you're interested in talking about. I'll make sure Marty does that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You all have a great day. Stay safe out there. This has been Talking Heads Thursday with Pearlie on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Be good. If you can't be good, please be careful. I'm out of here.
Are you ready for the best of the best? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, Up for Sound Promotion, and Guardian Radio presents the best of the best Rake and Script Explosion Concert. Mark your calendars for May 11th as Super Club Breezes grounds ignite with Bahamian talent featuring KB, Gino D, Funky D, Veronica Bishop, The Brylanders, Avi, Elon Moxie, and Shine 242.
Right now I feel like whining.
Join the Falcons, Iron Storm, Sylvie Pierre, Johnny Cake, Mama D, Nishi LS, Pat Ramis, Stevie S, and Shad Colley and the VIPs for an electrifying night of music and culture. Tickets are flying, so grab yours now. Available online at BahamaZTickets.com or swing by the Beauty Shack on Soldier Road and Carmichael Road. This is the event of the year. The best of the best Rake and Scrape Explosion at Breezes Resorts. Gates open at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on the Bahamian magic.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Whether you like it hot or you enjoy being original, KFC has the only chicken sandwiches with attitude, featuring 100% extra large white meat chicken fillets for 100% flavor. Enjoy the famous flavor of KFC 11 herbs and spices in the KFC Original Recipe Burger, or take the heat up a notch with a spicy filet with a KFC Kentucky Deluxe Sandwich. And for a limited time, enjoy your favorite sandwich with fries for only $7. That's how it's done. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Shortly before we went on the air, news broke that O.J. Simpson had died at the age of 76. And clearly, you cannot talk about O.J. Simpson without mentioning him being acquitted of a double murder in the 1990s that changed absolutely everything in the world of media, in our world, in the United States of America, the way that we view celebrity, the way that we view criminal cases, the way that we view justice, the way that we view everything. And I will never forget where I was on the day that O.J. Simpson was on the run from the police here in Southern California. And I will never forget that day as long as I live. And I was graduating from the Medill School of Journalism in June of 1994 on this day, when my folks were there for the graduation. So was my brother, sister-in-law, and we were all out to lunch, a late lunch, with fellow colleagues of mine who just graduated from Medill, and we were in a bar and having lunch, and up came the images. And it was in the middle of an NBA Finals game between the Knicks and the Spurs.
Yeah.
And the Rockets, pardon me, the Knicks and the Rockets. Knicks and Spurs is when I turned 30. So I will never forget that series. Because it was of interest in Chicago, to be honest with you, where I was, because everybody thought had Michael not retired, they would have been in that series. And the Knicks finally got past the Jordanless Bulls. And there was a split screen. And you just couldn't believe the guy who you knew as one of the all-time great running backs in the history of the NFL. And you couldn't believe that the guy that you now knew as a sideline reporter for NBC Sports and a movie actor, the guy from the Hertz commercial who trying to make his flight, right? One of the most famous pitchmen. He was jumping over chairs in the airport to go make his flight.
Airport,
That guy was on the run from the police. And why would he run from the police if he was innocent? And so we were all grappling with the fact that this guy, it sure looked like he had just killed his wife and a waiter from a nearby restaurant who was friendly with his wife and was returning, I guess, a pair of glasses, as we learned later on. Yeah. Wrong place, wrong time. Ron Goldman. May he rest in peace as well.
Lord, it seems like it, right?
With Nicole Brown Simpson. And I'll never forget where I was that day.
I think we all, if you're old enough.
Yeah.
You
right?
Remember? Yeah. I was in a bar in Pittsburgh. Walk in, and I'm like, why is the game not on? What?
Yeah.
And then we just all huddled around this thing like in disbelief.
Right. And he was he was on the phone. Al Cowlings was in his friend was in the car with him and
was driving.
And he was saying suicidal things.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
And every news organization had broken in live, and then the police didn't want to stop him. They just kept
followed him.
They just followed him, see where he was going. Yeah. And folks were on the freeway like cheering him on too. It was weird.
Well, the fact that people had time to make signs and get to certain locations.
Yeah.
That was especially now that I live here. Back then, California was just like whatever. I didn't believe it was a real place. But to think that in this type of traffic, people could get to these spots, make signs, and hold them up.
Wasn't he going to go to Mexico and they turned around because he wanted to go home first?
There was money and a disguise in there, right? And clothes,
a gun. Yeah,
it was just.
I was in the 8th grade, and a friend of mine was over to watch the NBA Finals, and remember they went small box on the finals
on the game,
and then the larger view was the chase. And then Bob Costas is doing the game and going back and forth.
I think it was Marv doing the game.
And Bob was doing the
studio.
Studio, yeah. But on location, it was
and they threw it back. I think and Brokaw threw it back to Marv, and Marv is just like, "We will update you as conditions warrant." Pause. We're here in the third quarter in Madison Square Garden, and it was just weird and wild that and everyone started calling everyone else or speaking to everyone else saying, "Did you see what OJ's doing? Like OJ killed his wife."
Yeah.
I was
and
in a
somebody
bar.
else, because again, why else would he be running from the law? And the crazy thing is, when the trial hit, they hardly brought up the chase.
Right.
Was one of my memories, because I watched the preliminary hearing, every minute of it in Lance Ito's courtroom. And you remember SNL would be doing skits on it. And didn't Jay Leno have like the dancing Itos on the Tonight Show? Yeah. And that's when the bottom line ticker was born, because CNN kept giving updates on other news because they didn't want to break away from the nonstop 24/7 coverage of it. And that's when, Roger Cossack and Greta Van Susteren became famous because they were legal experts to tell us about everything that was going on.
And people figured out what DNA was. It was our first experience with that.
Right. And so the preliminary trial, once I graduated from the Medill School of Journalism, I took an internship at the CBS Evening News in New York City. I lived at the 92nd Street Y for the summer and took 2 trains to Black Rock every day to go to work and answer phones. on the set of the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Wow.
And basically, my summer was filled with watching the preliminary trial with Lance Ito and answering phones of people livid across the country to give me, to tell me three things. One, OJ is guilty. Two, OJ is innocent. Three, where is The Price is Right or my soap opera? They were like complaining, like, why are we covering this thing gavel to gavel?
Yep.
Where's The Price is Right? Where's my soap opera? And I'm like, I would just transfer them to some other line for that because the phones were ringing off the hook.
It was crazy.
I will never, ever
the country.
Forget it.
It really
and
did.
so just to bring this kind of full circle a little bit here is because you cannot talk about O.J. Simpson without mentioning the double murder in Brentwood, California, of his wife and the waiter, Ron Goldman. You cannot do that unless, of course, you're the Heisman Trust, who tweeted out today, you know, they mourn the passing of O.J. Simpson. We extend our sympathy to his family. And again, you know, this man did pass away to cancer, and obviously somebody dying is not something to celebrate. But how do you not mention, and if you're Reggie Bush and you see that,